People often ask me when I'm talking about medieval farming or any sort of early landscape history, people often ask me, so how old is ridge and furrow and who made it? Oddly enough, I've been asked to go and give a talk about ridge and furrow medieval farming to several farmers' clubs, and many of them actually think their grandfathers made it, or, sometime in the fairly modern period. What's obvious, of course, is that in many, many places, parliamentary enclosure hedges, late 18th century hedges, actually cut across the pattern of ridge and furrow, so the ridge and furrow is obviously older than that. The ridge and furrow is actually created by the plough. So we can see in this lovely illustration from the 14th century, from the lateral salter, that the medieval plough had just one plough share. It had a thing to cut in the front and a coulter to cut underneath, and then the mould board which turned the sod over to the right, and it could only turn the sod over to the right, not in both directions like a modern plough can. So the medieval farmer, going clockwise, went up one side of his strip, turning the sod to the right, and then he turned round at the top and he came down the other side, turning the sod to the right. So what you get is a gradual ridging up as he went round and round and round towards the middle. The ridges are always a standard width in any field system. So they're usually either something like one rod pole or perch width, or two rod poles and perches width, which is 5.5 yards or 11 yards, or a variation of that, somewhere around that, because it could be a customary measurement in each place. And what you got then was, what's clear is that ridges are much higher in very heavy clay soil than they are in light soil, because they're laid out to facilitate drainage, i.e. they always go across the contours so that the water would drain into the furrows. What you then got was some drier land on which you could grow your arable crops, and you got the wetter furrows which produced the greensward which could then be grazed. In many ridges it could be quite difficult to turn round a whole lot of oxen, a whole oxen team, plough team, so you often get a slight curve, what we call the arachral curve, the reversed S-curve of ridges and furrows, because the plough team would have to swing out at the end to turn round and come back down. It was, in some places, ridge and furrow could be as much as 1,000 years old, because we think open fields were laid out sometime in between the 9th and the 11th centuries.